The whole album.
Yeah, I saw
It's a life changer album.
what they offered.
All right, good morning, everybody. Time for the UFC
Long run?
Fight Night 210. Official weigh-ins to get underway here in Las Vegas. Not gonna lie, your boy hurting a little bit this morning. Had a chance to go see Nine Inch Nails last night playing at Hollywood. Thanks to a buddy of mine. Shout out Tony for hooking up the tickets. Kicked it in the pit last night, had a good time. But hurting this morning. But that's what you do, right? That's what you do. You gotta live life. Scott McCrate, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for you. I see Peter Pan in the house. From what I understand, I believe we'll have our headliners straight off the top. So we're gonna get to the main event business right off the top. Should be a run of about 16 to 18 people right off the bat, from what we're hearing. And we'll go from there. After that, we'll chat. Because I need to talk to hang out. Oh, yeah, Trent still brought it. Trent Reznor brought it last night. Hadn't seen him in the last time I saw him, they were here like 4 years ago. They did like a 3-night stretch, and I did 2 of the 3 nights. I can't remember, I had something going on. I couldn't go the third night. So, but yeah, it was a good show, really good show. So we were about 3 people back from the rail. Had a good time. Definitely worth checking out if they're in your town and you're an old dude like me who grew up watching. Oh, I already see off to the side. It looks like Cory Sandhagen is going to be number 1. He's chilling over here to the side. See, shout out to Cold Coffee. Cold Coffee has that nice 4K stream. He's got that, he can turn and zoom and all. I don't have that. But Cold Coffee doesn't talk to either. You see what I'm saying? You gotta make a choice. But yeah, Cory Sandhagen's off to the side. Looks like he'll be number 1. He's already in his boxers, I guess. He's not even got no shirt on. He's ready to go. He's ready to go.
Shots on the ground.
There you go.
What's up, buddy? Just anywhere.
Nah, they were when they were standing up.
Make sure you guys stay low.
I can go even low.
Oh, what?
All right.
Morgan, did you get batteries?
I did, yeah, thank you.
Thank Tabitha.
Shout out. Yeah, I'm hurting so bad I didn't bring AA batteries. Shout out to Cold Coffee. All right, look, he's checking the watch right now. We're about ready to get this started.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to the weigh-ins. First to the scale this morning, Cory Sandhagen. Official weight 135.5 for Cory Sandhagen.
Go, Cory.
Next to the scale this morning, his opponent in the main event, Yadong. Official weight 135.5 for Yadong. Next to the scale, Daniel Zellhuber. Official weight 155 pounds for Daniel Zellhuber. Next to the scale, Pat Sabatini. Official weight 145 and a half for Pat Sabatini. Next to the scale, Louis Cosi. Official weight 170 and a half for Louis Cosi. Next to the scale, Cameron Van Camp. Official weight 155 and a half for Cameron Van Camp. Next to the scale, Joe Pfeiffer. Official weight 185 for Joe Pfeiffer. Next to the scale, Denise Gomes. Official weight 115 pounds for Denise Gomes. Next to the scale, Trevin Giles. Official weight 170 pounds for Trevin Giles. Next to the scale, Jillian Robertson. Official weight 125 pounds for Jillian Robertson. Next to the scale, Nicholas Mota. Official weight 155 pounds for Nicholas Mota. Next to the scale, Maria Agapova. Official weight 125.5 for Maria Agapova. Next to the scale, Loma Lubunmi. Official weight 115.5 for Loma Lubunmi. Next to the scale, Bill Algio. Official weight 146 pounds for Bill Algio. Next to the scale, Tony Gravely. Official weight 135.5 for Tony Gravely. Next to the scale, Anthony Hernandez. Official weight 185.5 for Anthony Hernandez. Next to the scale, Andre Feely. Official weight 145.5 for Andre Feely. Next to the scale, Damon Jackson. Official weight 145.5 for Damon Jackson. Next to the scale, Javid Basharat. Official weight 135.5 for Javid Basharat.
What up, Bruce? Hurry up. Hey, you? Sure.
All right, bud.
Okay, looks like we finally reached our first break of the day. Cory Sandhagen, song Yadong, first and second on the scale. So your main event is official, both of them at 135.5. Have yet to see either of the fighters in our co-main event, Chidi and Chiquani or Kirky Rodriguez. But a good run to get started. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by my count. left to weigh in. So good start right off the top. Now I can actually check some comments. What's going on, everybody? Richard Sandhagen said, "What's up?" Andrew said, "What's up?" Julian Perino talking some trash, making weight with a novel concept. Rich Noggin had a little, feeling a little off. Bro, I get you. I'm feeling a little off. I don't think the little leave is going to help me out right now. I think I'm taking a nap when I get home this afternoon. T-Bone in the house. T-Bone in the house. Ooh, hopefully it's not that COVID, though. Yeah. Went 3 years without getting it. Good for you, dog. Good for you. Hopefully not dealing with it. If you got your stuff, it's all good. You'll be sick for a little bit. You'll feel like trash for a couple days, but you'll be good. What's good, T-Bone? Yeah, Zach, Joey, and Pat did it. It's a very strong, just like last week, kicked off with a very strong CFFC contingent early in the morning. We got a strong CFC contingent this time around as well. Nicholas Mota already weighed in. Tony Gravely already weighed in. Pat Sabatini already weighed in. Joe Pfeiffer already weighed in. Bill Algie already weighed in. So you see those CFFC vets, they're not just here, they're professional as well. They're already weighed in, they're done. Some great fights, though. I'm telling you. So obviously, I mean, this is the way it is every week, right? Like, you do the pay-per-view cards, and those are the big, title fights, and everybody's excited about it. And then you have a fight night the next week, and everybody's like, what is it? And I get it. I think that a lot of people are going to be like, But I do think this card should be entertaining. So I'm actually kind of excited about tomorrow. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But the two fights that are tearing at my soul, just because A, I like the fighters involved in, but B, I like the styles as well. But Bill Algeo, Andre Fili, and Damon Jackson, Pat Sabatini, like, first of all, love all four of those dudes. Like, all four, like, quality cats. But when you look at the style matchups as well, I think those are going to be fun fights. So those are the ones that I'm like simultaneously most excited for and also not. Exactly, Zach. That's what I was trying to say. CFFC guys, they're in, dog. Come on. You know they're in. Yeah, Jensaki, the jokes just tell themselves, and I always feel bad because it's my man's name. You never want to make, poke fun at a man's name, but come on. The jokes just tell themselves. All right, let me transfer these files. Yeah, Rich, I had only had COVID once, and I had like two really, really bad days. And only one of them was like super, super bad. It was 2 days. One day was like exhausting. Like, I don't know. I'm guessing at this point, like, damn near everybody's had COVID. I can't believe you haven't caught it in 3 years, bro. Good for you. But my COVID, I had like 1 day where I just couldn't get out of bed. Like, I was just exhausted. Like, I've never been more tired in my life. And I had another day where I felt like trash. I did have a weird thing, like a ringing in my ears for like 2 weeks, which was crazy, because it was nonstop for like 2 weeks. But that's gone away, thankfully. All right, looks like we're getting back to action.
Next to the scale, Rodrigo Nascimento. Official weight, 261 pounds for Rodrigo Nascimento. Next to the scale, Marc-Andre Barrio. Official weight 185 pounds for Marc-Andre Barrio.
All right, looks like we're another little break again. Shaka Toast in the house. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, no drama this weekend. We were talking about that beforehand. We were like, man, as wild as last week was, hopefully we get just a nice, normal, easy week. Easy week. Oh, you beat the Apex. Let's go. Say what's up. Oh, Rich, I have yet to see that. Gave him some cash right out of his pocket. That's what's up. I haven't seen that. I want to check that out. All right, looks like maybe we're getting back to action again. Commission's in place. Let's see who's walking forward. What up?
Next to the scale, Chidi and Jokuani. Official weight 185.5 for Chidi and Jokuani. Next to the scale, Sarah McMahon. Official weight 135 pounds for Sarah McMahon.
You're walking in front of the stream every time you come through.
Next to the scale, Gregory Rodriguez. Official weight 185.5 for Gregory Rodriguez.
All right, so it looks like another break at this point. Wow, we've been flying through it. We're down to 4 fighters left, I believe, at this point. According to my count, Trey Ogden, Aspen Ladd, which of course I think is the one most people will be curious about, Tanner Boja, and Alan Amidowski. Yeah, looking back at the chat, I already see Shaka hoping that Aspen has no issues. Zach saying I assume she'll miss. Yeah, it's okay. Hold on, here we go again. It's only a brief break. Zach, I feel your pain, dog. I feel your pain. Do Sean and Mick ever get competitive over the Contender Series fighters? That's funny. I don't know. I've never seen them argue. I mean, I guess they'd be arguing with Dana. I mean, they have their divisions, obviously, so. City Life, nope. Morgan is not with the other guys anymore. After 15 years, I left earlier this year. They were not supportive of my future plans. Yeah, Giga and Sadiq would have been a great fight. That's a bummer that was off. Hopefully we'll get it back. Or, well, I guess we already saw it, right? Sadiq's got booked up against a newcomer, so I guess we won't get it immediately, but that would have been a good fight. Jonathan, do I play video games? Not a ton. I don't have a lot of time, to be honest with you. I play some Fortnite with my kid. We'll play a little bit. My kid loves playing video games. Even when I was younger and did play video games a little bit, I mostly played like sports games, a lot of FIFA, a lot of Madden before it got so damn complicated that you have to actually be an NFL coach to be able to play it. Thank you, City Life. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's a long story.
Any big names?
What's poppin', Cali Gold? What's poppin'? That's funny, Zach. T-Bone. My preferred cold beverage is whichever one's coming next. But if I'm chill, to be honest with you, if I'm going hard, I'll just drink some Coors Light, man. I'm easy like that. But I like everything, man, from Guinness to the lightest, the darkest. If it's too, I will be honest. Some of the IPAs are like super hoppy. Like I don't feel those. Like, nah. So like I feel like people just drink those just to say they're drinking them. They're not really enjoying that flavor. So if it's too hoppy, I'm not into it. But everything else, I'm in.
Those two guys fighting. Who was Mark Kerr? Are you sure? Maybe Maybe they just put them both on the cover. Might just put them on the cover. No, of course.
Shaka, I hope so. I don't know. I got to do the last Callum Walsh fight. I did the broadcast for Fight Pass, but that was kind of like a last minute thing. I was brought in like a week in advance. I think they had like a little scheduling conflict or something pop up with their normal crew. So, but I told them, hey, love to come back. So I hope I'm there November 3rd. I'd love to. It was fun. It was that show was cool. Little ballroom, packed out, some great boxing fights. It was fun. Ezio from Italy, what's going on, man? Hopefully we'll see you when the UFC gets to Italy in the very near future. Love me some Italy, man. Love me some Italy. Yeah, city life. That's the truth right there. You help build a company, and then when you try to build yourself, they don't support you. It's like, what? I gave you 15 years of my life, dog. Now I'm trying to do this. You can't have my back. It's pretty frustrating. And the 12% I can get down with, but bro, like, give me like a nice, Belgian triple or something like that. Like, you can get some strong beers that taste good. Like, maybe some of those like bourbon barrel aged or something like that. Like, give me something nice. I just maybe I'm wrong, but I just can't get down on some of those. I'm going Canelo, Scott. I'm going Canelo. I don't have that set up, City Life, but I probably should. Julian says grape soda, orange soda. Grape soda, orange soda. I guess orange. I don't even remember the last time I don't even remember the last time I had an orange soda, to be honest. I don't remember the last time I had a grape soda. Oh, Cali Gold, yeah, hard liquor. We were doing some vodka sodas last night. Some Warzone. I tried, so my kid's still 10, and I did play whatever, I can't remember what the last Call of Duty that came out. Was it Vanguard on the PS5? I bought that, and I was like, you're probably mature enough to play this. And then I threw it on. I'm like, yo, this is pretty graphic, actually. Like, you probably shouldn't play this. You're 10. Macau beer. I don't think I know Macau beer. I've been to Macau. I don't remember that. Is it a beer from Macau? I can't remember.
No, you don't go in if you're not working.
Haha, I see what you did there, Julian Farina. Oh, yikes. Look, I've done my share of 40s back in the day.
We're not the, who's that? The real creepy one?
Yeah, Rich, I kind of feel the same way.
The Scientologist.
Julian Farina getting fancy. La Fine du Monde.
I don't know. No, that was Tom Cruise.
A little Newcastle. All right.
Yeah, they have a database. If you want to build a Facebook
Macau beers, only Macau. Man, I don't remember. No, we went over there for I did a couple UFC shows over there. I would always fly into Hong Kong and then take the ferry over. We probably did drink it over there. It's been a while. It's been several years since we've been over there. I think, damn, if I remember right, like Colby Covington's first or second fight was over in Macau, so I remember that. Kong Lee, Rich Franklin. I must have drank the Macau beer while I was there. I must have. Jeunesse cream. Look, y'all getting fancy up in here. Y'all getting fancy. Whoa. Yeah, I went to Brussels earlier this year, and that was my first time I'd ever been to Belgium. Getting some of the beers over there, phenomenal. Seems like everywhere you go, good beers everywhere, no matter what you get. Mm-hmm. Okay. Damn, Cali Gold. All right.
You know how long I have.
Who was in the building? The
Yeah, Warm Springs.
what was that? The Venetian, right? It was at the Venetian, their event center inside the Venetian. Ooh, a fine steak and some cold ones. I can't beat that. Can't beat that.
So basically, Green Valley Ranch,
They don't make it out to the island.
City Life, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Julian, I think this is gonna be a fun card. I was talking about it early on, like I get it, not it doesn't have the big names or whatever, but I think it's gonna be a fun card. Yeah, Zach. Shouldn't get first of all, Jonathan. Yeah, I'm definitely. Thank you, family as well, and I appreciate the nice thoughts. And yeah, fortunate to do what I do for a living, man. Absolutely fortunate to do what I do for a living. But I think Zach, you said it right there. It's not about not supporting, but like to be honest with you, like you're supposed to make weight. Like the fighters to a man, to a woman, they'll tell you that's your one job, right? As far as what happens on fight night, that's out of your control. Like you just show up and whatever happens, happens. But the one thing you can't control is getting on the scale and making weight, and that's what you sign up for. So I get it. I understand why people boo. I think it's kind of to me it shows like an educated crowd when they boo somebody that misses weight. Like I know it's not nice to boo somebody. I'm sure it sucks to be booed, but that to me shows an educated crowd. They understand. Take it easy, city life. Yeah, exactly. Good time. Was Colby Usman one of your favorite live fights with the crowd? My favorite live fights in terms of the crowd were the first show in Brazil. What was that, like 2012? Unbelievable crowd. So passionate. You had Brazilian legends on the card, and they hadn't been there in forever, so that was amazing. The Bell Center in Montreal with GSP, my goodness. Unbelievable. The stadium, like UFC 129, the stadium show was cool. The crowd was actually, the place was so big, the building was so big, it didn't really sound that loud, but just the visual of, 55,000 people in one building watching an MMA fight was pretty damn cool.
So you just gotta rest and wait?
No, I'm trying to work out if I can sell the buy like in the same thing. They were saying that like houses were you can put them on the market and if you got a few days, it's like slowed down massively. So like now houses are like
261 was crazy. Huh. Oh, wow, look at that. Cobrinha, BJJ, and Soul. Wow, that's awesome, man. Sorry you had to close it. Soul's awesome. It's just, did we go once or twice? I think just once, right? Just one event in Soul? We had a good time there. I really enjoyed Soul. I'd definitely go back there.
And then I met a man about a dog later on that night, and he was like, "How you find Vegas?" And I was like, "Paradise is playing." He's like, "You dumb, you stupid." He's like, "Never go down there." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Thanks for letting me know, buddy."
Pictures with our Hamzat flag and friends with DS flag. That's cool. That's what it should be, man. It should be fun. Okay, so it was two. It was two, Cali. All right. For some reason I thought it was two, but I couldn't remember. Oh no, wait. Was it two in Seoul? I know there was the one in Busan. I didn't do that one because it was too close to the holidays. Yeah, there you go. One in Seoul, one in Busan. Yeah. I just did the Seoul. I didn't do the Busan. But yeah, what Shaka was saying, like respect. You know what I mean? Like rivalries and fun. But like, to be honest with you, it is honestly one of my favorite things about the sport. Like two dudes would get in a cage, or girls, of course, and beat the shit out of each other, and then respect at the end. To me, that's cool. That's what it's about. Like, I love that. I mean, everybody loves a good grudge match. Like, everybody loves a bad blood rivalry, right? But to me, that respect between the two, like, that just means everything, man. I love that part of it. By the way, even though just enjoying talking, for anybody that is wondering, I think most people are aware, but here's where we stand. Alan Amidovsky, Tanner Bozer, Aspen Ladd, Trey Ogden. That's who we're waiting to weigh in at this point. Everybody else has made weight, including your headliners, who were the first ones on the scale. So your main event was official right off the top.
And I'll even have the cops. The cops will be right behind me. They're not going to waste their time on me.
Eric Betts fights. I remember that one. Portland was fun. I think that was, if I remember, I think that was my first time in Portland, which I think is a very underrated city. I don't know what I was expecting in Portland, but I remember, that's what I remember from that fight week 8. I do remember Couture getting the love, and I remember thinking, it's a pretty cool city, man. Got a lot of breweries, and it was a cool spot. I guess that's I guess that's what it takes for me to like a city. If you got some decent places to get a frosty beverage, that works out with me. Richard, yeah, I wasn't there for that London event. That was pretty amazing though. That one earlier this year. That crowd. I mean, I've done a lot of the UFC London shows, a lot of the O2 Arena shows, but that atmosphere earlier this year looked pretty damn amazing. Looked pretty damn amazing.
Like I got the text message saying your taxes will be refunded in 3 to 5 days, and I kept looking for it. It's been a week, and that looked.
Molly and Patty, like Molly's the best. I mean, Patty's obviously fantastic, but Molly, I spent more time around Molly, and she's amazing. She's amazing. But every time I've ever talked to Patty as well, like he's a trip. And I mean, you can't beat that accent, right? That Liverpool accent, it's the best. And just that attitude. That the Darren Till show in Liverpool, that was a good time. We got to see that weekend was cool because Liverpool was in the Champions League final, and it didn't go their way, unfortunately, which would have been insane had they won. But that was a cool weekend. I remember that one. But yeah, I love those two. Their attitude, their accents, they're fun to be around. But Molly's awesome. She's super nice, as cool as they come. Oh, Chandler and Dustin, come on, man. That's a fight right there. That's a fight. I mean, there has to be some early odds on that. Let me pull that up right now. I'm kind of curious what the odds on that are.
I wonder if that, like you said, that they kind of tell you even the odds. I've always wondered.
Okay.
Because for me, I wouldn't want to.
I'm looking what I'm looking at right now. I've just pulled up Best Fight Odds, by the way. I usually just go there because they have like the different houses, but looks like Poirier's around minus 160 across most places. Chandler plus 140. So kind of what I was thinking in my head, that like it seems to me that Poirier would be the slight favorite. I mean, you think of, you know, the quality of opponents that he's faced. I mean, the dude's just battle tested as they come, and seems to be at his absolute peak right now. But Chandler's dangerous, man. Chandler's absolutely dangerous. So if I had to make a pick, I'd probably lean towards Poirier as well. But like, that's just a toss-up to me. That's like a 50-50 fight. Love that fight. Absolutely love that fight. T-Bone. Concert was good. Yeah, it was weird. I missed UFC 279 live because 6 months ago in March, I bought tickets for my kid to go see Imagine Dragons at Allegiant Stadium. He loves that band, so they were playing Allegiant Stadium, so I bought tickets, and then, wouldn't you know it, and it was funny because it was a Saturday night, and I remember buying the tickets, and I was like, damn, it's a Saturday night. I was like, well, I guess I'll have to take a Saturday off of a UFC, and then it ends up being a damn pay-per-view in Las Vegas. So my initial reaction was to cancel, but I stuck with it. I was like, no, I promised my kid. So we went. We had a good time. So that was a lot of fun. So I did that on Saturday, watched the pay-per-view on Sunday. And then last night I actually went and saw Nine Inch Nails at Planet Hollywood as well. So I love going and seeing live music. I don't get the chance to do it much. Since my kid was born, I just feel I don't do a lot of stuff like that. Because, got my kid to take care of. But Imagine Dragon show was good, and Nine Inch Nails was good last night.
And I realized, like, if I had bought, like, peanut butter or something, like, liquidy,
All right, let's see here. Jinsaki, do you think Tony Ferguson's disposition is down to 180? He was so nice, I didn't recognize him. I think he must have had a really good camp, even a mental wellness coach. The disposition was definitely different, no question about that. He even said it, like he came to the media day and was laughing. He was like, I don't have to yell at you guys this time. I did that last time. So that was kind of funny. Yeah, I think it seems like he's in a good mental spot. I mean, obviously frustrating with the setback, but he does seem to be in a good mental spot, and I think that's good. I mean, you can't be a fan of sport and not be a fan of Tony Ferguson. He's just a good dude, and he's fun to watch fight. Is he going to make a championship run anytime soon? Doubtful. I mean, crazier things have happened, but it doesn't seem that at this point. But, I'd like to see Tony fight a few more times. I mean, I know he wants to. I don't want to see him fight, 25-year-old prospects, up and coming, whatever. But if you can find him some veteran matchups, I think he deserves that, man. He's paid his dues. He's been a good representative of the sport. He's fun. And yeah, he was in a much better mood on fight week, that's for sure. Julian saw Imagine Dragons in Kansas City. Dope. Jonathan says Charles Islam. I agree, man. Most anticipated fight this year for me. It's hard to think of any other ones, right? That when you consider the stakes and the style matchups and Charles Islam has to be one of the most anticipated fights a year. Now, it's always hard because we're in September, so you're thinking back like, what was I looking forward to in February or whatever? It's kind of hard to put that all in context. But as far as like what's on the docket right now, I agree.
He looked at airline tickets to Abu Dhabi from Paris, and it was from here to Abu Dhabi, but looked at it in Paris, and it was half the cost than looking at it from here to Abu Dhabi. Same ticket, but looked at it.
As long as you go online in a European VPN, they charge Europe less money to go there. They don't want us there.
I mean, I don't blame them, but
any other business, that's like discrimination.
So our travel department should just get a European VPN and book our tickets because it'll be half the price. That's smart. Maybe I can get that.
Sorry, I'm eavesdropping on a conversation. I was eavesdropping on a conversation about travel where they were saying tickets from Vegas to Abu Dhabi were half price if you were logged into a European VPN and looking at them from a European VPN. That's crazy. All right, let me get caught up here. Yeah, Zach, to be honest, I didn't know Nine Inch Nails was touring either, but my buddy bought tickets for my birthday, which was in March, by the way. So he bought tickets like 6 months ago, surprised me with it, but we had a good time last night. Yeah, T-Bone, you're right. I mean, to be honest with you, I just hate to see that. Like, I think DC said the same thing, right? He's a shell of himself. And I mean, you look at those words and you see it, like, it just sounds so harsh. But, I mean, look, nobody can last forever. All right, look, we're back to action. Let's see who we got. 4 left. Let's see how many we get.
Next to the scale, Tanner Bozer. Official weight 229 pounds for Tanner Bozer.
Tanner Bozer at 229, so we've got our heavyweights in. That's a 32-pound differential between Tanner and Rodrigo Nascimento. Looking like a light heavyweight, Tanner Bozer. I'm trying to look up, that has to be the lightest we've ever seen him, right? Like, I kind of always remember being around 235, 240. I'm trying to look through his weights now. Has to be the lightest he's ever come in. Yeah, Tony Ferguson versus Jim Miller. I agree. Like those are the kind of matchups that are there right now. Zach, you got blocked by Tony Ferguson? Oh, man. Yeah, Zach, if John Jones gets in. God, man, John's got to get in. I'm excited for heavyweight. I get it, man. Look, I don't think John wants to come in for anything less than a title fight, and I get that. He probably shouldn't do anything. Working on the phone connection now. God bless this internet connection at the UFC Apex, man. I don't know why it never works out right. And we're not even that. There's not even that many media people here today. We got about 2, 4, 6. I don't know, 12, 15. Anyway. Oh, Gregor Gillespie, yeah. Gregor's interesting, like scrolling up a little bit. Gregor Gillespie's an interesting cat. I mean, he's definitely an interesting dude. Like, so talented, man. And, but just doesn't necessarily, like, and good for him, right? Like, it just, he only wants to take the fights that make sense to him. Like, that's just been his attitude from day one. Like, I don't feel like he thinks, like, I got to come in and just fight whoever they want me to fight, whenever they want me to fight. Like, and I'll be honest, I don't know what he does outside the sport. Like, I'm guessing he must have some kind of business that makes money, because he doesn't seem all that concerned about fighting and feeling the need to, you know, like I said, like take fights that he just only wants to take fights that make sense to him. So, and I agree. I see Julian Perino saying, like, potential. The dude has talent. The dude is absolutely talented, but I think just the way he thinks about fighting and the way he thinks about his career is a little bit different than most. So, yeah, I haven't heard what he's up to lately. Gosh, man, it's already been a year and 4 months since he last fought. That's crazy. Yeah, that dude's got skills. That dude's got absolute talent. He's probably fishing. Yeah, yeah. My man likes to fish.
So you just like show them that they're like
Ah, see. Zach, hopefully you've changed your ways since then. Social media's funny, man. I think it was Misha Tate once that said like it gives people access to you that shouldn't have access to you. And I remember at the time thinking like, wow, why do you feel that way? But it's so true, man. Like, man, the number of people that like hit me up in DMs or whatever and like talk trash to me, like it's ridiculous. Like, why do you feel like you need like what's going on in your life that you need to hit me up and talk trash? You know what I mean? So, and for fighters, it's the same way. And you may think that like, oh, okay, it's a fighter, like he's in the UFC, she's in the UFC, like, you know, they're never gonna see this, or B, if they see it, they don't care or whatever. But like, bro, at the end of the day, they're all people. Nobody likes to hear that stuff. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to. You know, you don't want somebody to show up to your house and tell you all the worst things about yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hopefully you've changed your ways since then, Zach. Don't talk trash to people on social media, even people you think that are public figures or whatever, because at the end of the day, bro, they're just people. The MMA Roadshow has joined the chat. That's what's up. Must be somebody from our expansive staff running the account. Good to hear, Zach. Good to hear, man. I appreciate that. I mean, look, we all make mistakes. We all mess up, you know. But it is at the end of the day, man. It's just they're people, man. They're people. Ooh, Julian says Paulo and Hamza will be fun. I'm down for that. See, that's the frustrating thing about last week, right? Like, Hamza makes weight, and now you're talking about like title shot, you know. But now, like, do you put him back at 170? I mean, he missed weight bad, and I understand, the doctors and et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, like, the doctors don't come check on you just to make sure you're doing okay. Like, you only call the doctors if you're doing bad, right? So he missed weight. So what do you do now? And that's what's frustrating. That's what's frustrating about such a bad weight miss. You know, if it's 172, maybe you go, well, he's good. But now you're like, whoa. So, you know, because I hear a lot of people saying Hamzat Colby would be awesome, which obviously would be an amazing fight. And there's two dudes right at the top of the division. But can you put him in another 170 fight? I don't know. I don't know if you can. And you heard Dana, you know, afterwards saying, I think you put him at middleweight, and I kind of agree. But that does open up the possibility for Paulo and Hamzat. So, I dig it. That's funny, Jorge, his best friend. Nah, T-Bone, to be honest with you, I've just kind of decided that I'm just done asking Colby questions. I mean, he did it in New York, and I laughed. Like, the first time he did it, I thought it was funny. I even laughed. If you go back and watch the tape, like, I even cracked up. I was like, oh, like, you know, Colby's going at everybody. You know, okay, et cetera. Like, it's funny. So I laughed, and then he did it post-fight as well. Like, so I was like, okay, that was pre-fight. Now we'll do post-fight. We'll talk serious. He did it again, and then he did it pre-fight in Vegas. And so, yeah, I just, to be honest, I feel like at this point, if I was to try to ask him a question, like, that's just me trying to, like, he's made it clear he doesn't want to answer questions from me. So it's not, I guess, entertaining to me anymore. But, like, I don't know. So, no, I'm just done. I just won't talk to him anymore. Zach, I thought that was funny. I thought that was. if you notice, I only did it the media day. I didn't do it in a press conference. I did it behind the scenes. A little talk. I thought that was funny. It was kind of funny to see like some media people were like, "I didn't know what you meant when you said that," and then they started cracking up and they figured it out. Appreciate you, T-Bone. See, that was the deep cut. You had to know. You know what was funny is after I said that, I had a lot of people reach out online that were like, "Bro, what you've accomplished with just one lung is very inspirational." And I felt kind of bad because I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. That's not true. I was just talking shit." Yeah, exactly, Zach. That people thought I was serious. It was funny. I was like, "Oops, sorry. I was just talking shit." Not flex. I'd love to see Hamza and Colby. I would love to see that fight again. Be a great fight stylistically. It's a meaningful fight at the top of the division. It's just, man, when you miss weight that bad, can you put him back at 170 right away? I mean, you can, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, look, he's a big dude that has a big weight cut. And if the goal is, because look, you beat Colby, you need to be fighting for a title. Like anybody in the division, you beat Colby, you need to be fighting for a title. Like that dude, if it weren't for Kamaru Usman, would be a champion. So if you beat Colby, but like, what happens if you weigh 175 against Colby, and then you beat him, and then what? You know what I mean? So that's the hard part to me. So I would love to see the fight, but just after a weight miss like that, I'm not sure that you can book that fight. T-Bone, he did. Masvidal's a real one. He's a real one. Yeah, Rich, exactly. I see somebody from the MMA Roadshow staff says, "Give me 10 beers." And I see, now we're talking. 10 beers, we could do it. Now, see, if you said that, like, before you ask me a question, I need you to chug 10 beers. I'd do that. I would definitely do that. I would definitely do that. Yeah, Rich, I think you would as well. But again, that's the problem is that, and then what? And then what? I mean, I don't know. I guess you could book the fight and just hope he makes weight. But it's just a weird thing to me. I mean, I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want, basically. But just what if he misses weight again? That's crazy. Not flex. Definitely don't believe the conspiracy theory of UFC 279. And for a number of reasons. But number one, like, just being around this company, like, knowing how crazy week to week it is. I mean, think about it. Like, since UFC 279, we already had a Contender Series event. We're doing this event right now. I mean, like, the staff is stretched like crazy. So, I mean, like, they're running 100 miles an hour all the time. So, to have that type of foresight to do that, it just, there's not even time to think about shit like that. But, again, think about what it would take to pull off something like that. All the people are involved. All the people are involved. Like think about, why do MMA reporters get all the scoops that they do? Because nobody in this business can keep their mouth shut. If people know something, they want to say something. So you're telling me every fighter involved, every coach involved, every manager involved, every team involved is all going to keep their mouth shut. They're not going to say a single word. You haven't heard anything about it from behind the scenes. Have you heard anything about the conspiracy theory from anybody involved? Did you hear about it? No. And I'm telling you right now, something of that magnitude, especially if the UFC can't even book a bantamweight prelim fight on a card 4 months from now without somebody talking about it, how do you think they could pull off something like that with nobody talking about it? You know? I see you, Ron Swanson. Elliot Alderson. I want to see that. That's a good question. What's the biggest story in MMA this week from your perspective? Actually, that's pretty funny. T-Bone, like, kind of probably keep it on the low. That's true. That's true. Oh, and by the way, I mean, let's like I said, if you were on the stream last week, like we literally saw Holland and Mick Maynard having like an intense discussion, like right before the weigh-ins kicked off. So we were like, uh-oh. But yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. Biggest story in MMA this week from your perspective? I mean, it has to still be the continued fallout from last week. I mean, that's all anybody's talking, right? The continued fallout from last week. But is there something else going on? I mean, are we talking about this card? What does anybody else have? To me, it's still. I mean, the biggest story this week is still the fallout from 279. It's either what's Hamza going to do, what's Nate going to do, right? Or what's the UFC going to do with them? So, I would assume it's one of those. If anybody else has any different ones, I'd love to hear it. But to me, that remains the biggest story this week is Hamza and Nate and where they go. Nah, Flex is, from your perspective, is Hamza a real deal? Yeah, Hamza is a real deal. That's what makes it even more frustrating, because Hamza is not just hype. Hamza is not just whatever. Like, Hamza is legit. That dude been saying it from day one. Like, that dude, now granted, does he have a little Dana White privilege? Of course he does. You know what I mean? Does he have a little, the hype? Sometimes the UFC machine, Dana White, they kind of latch onto certain people and they get a little more push. I mean, look, Joe Pyfer, right? Like, Joe Pyfer. And I'm happy with Joe Pyfer. Like, obviously, CFFC fight on the Contender Series and had an amazing interview the other day in our media day. Like, I'm hyped for him. But I'm just saying, like, that dude is getting, a little bit more hype than other people, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, like, some people get a little bit of extra hype. Hamza obviously had that little bit of extra hype. But if you look at that little extra bit of hype and then you discount the person just because you're like, oh, well, that's just the guy the UFC is telling me to like, then you're making a mistake with Hamza. Like, that dude is good. And I think that was the frustrating part of last week. I guess it may be stupid, it may be silly, but like one of the most frustrating parts of last week for me was just the way Hamza acted on the stage, right? Like, where he just walked up and was like smiling and laughing about the weight miss. I didn't like that. But at the end of the day, does that have any effect or impact on how good he can fight or how good he'll be or is? Absolutely none whatsoever. That dude's the real deal. That dude is the real deal. But the question is he the real deal at welterweight or is he the real deal at middleweight? That's what we're trying to find out. B. Joe Pyfer. See? That's the nickname. That should be the nickname right there. Just change it. I mean, I like body bags, but just change it to B and make, as we said on the MMA Roadshow this week. Well, I think Cold Coffee kind of talked me out of it, to be honest with you. But I kind of like it. Make Buffer come out there and be like, B. Joe Pyfer. Elliot, is the PFL signing more UFC guys moving the needle? I think so. Recognizable names. Hearing that Fabricio Verdum might be back as well, that he might be coming back in the mix as well. I think so. I love the PFL concept, man. I love the PFL format. But they need some recognizable names, right? And what's interesting about the recognizable names is that you don't necessarily need, as we've seen, you look at Rory, you look at Pettis, you look at whoever, you don't necessarily need the recognizable names to come in and beat everybody. But what you need is those recognizable names to be the measuring stick, right? So those people come in, and if they get beat, then now you know the guy that beat them. That's the hard part. When you have all these promotions like living in their own ecosystem, and somebody's a badass, in one little world over here, but you're like, yeah, but they'd never beat the UFC guys. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, if you're an old schooler like me, that was like the argument back in the day, like UFC pride, like, well, yeah, well, they're winning over there, but would they win here? You know what I mean? So when you get a little bit of crossover, then you get to see Oh no, they're beating those guys. You know, so I think it's good. I think it's good for the PFL. And again, I like what the PFL is doing because it's something different. You know, at first, of course, when they first launched, I was like, I don't know about the season thing. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Like it's you know, it's kind of gimmicky. I think a lot of people did that. I was the same. I was like, I don't know, but I like the way it's played out, man. To be honest with you, I like the season format a lot, and it's something different. And I think that's what you need. You need something different. You know. You know what one championship is doing, where they have like Muay Thai, kickboxing, submission grappling, MMA. That's cool to me. That's something different. You know, it's unique. So when you watch their product, it's something unique. It's something different. If you're just doing, you know, the same as everybody else, if you're just trying to be UFC light, then people are gonna look at you as UFC light. You know, so I dig it. I dig it, and I think it's cool. You know, it's got to be. You know, it's got to be tempting for a lot of people on the UFC roster. Like, if you don't necessarily see a clear path to the top, you know, if you're, if let's say you're a number one contender, you're top 5 in the UFC, do you want to go to the PFL? Probably not, because you see a clear path to the top. And obviously, if you're at the top of the UFC, you're making more money than anywhere else. But let's say you're, you know, a couple tiers below that or whatever, and you don't see a clear path to the top. The opportunity to go make $1 million in a year, it's got to be tempting. Got to be tempting. Body bags. It is a funny nickname. But he was talking about, like, because he has bags under his eyes and he was body bags on. It was kind of funny. Like, if you watch the media day, he said that. So I think he gave out his gamer handle, maybe. No, Rick. It's Rick James. No, Rick James. Aspen has not weighed in just yet. Caesar says, "Do you like the name Bellator?" I remember when they first launched it, I thought it was weird, but I think it's just been around long enough now that I don't hate it. I like it, I guess. I like it as a weird. I mean, I like the name UFC? Do I like the name PFL? I don't know. But at first, Bellator did kind of stand out to me. Now, I guess I'm used to it at this point. Yeah. All right, so I guess let's do. Wow, it is. So we're an hour and 11 minutes in at this point. Wow, we're just sitting here chatting, having fun. I didn't even realize we were that far in. Here's what we're waiting on: Trey Ogden, Aspen Ladd, Alan Amidovsky. Gosh. There's still 50 minutes left, so I shouldn't say you should be concerned, but yeah. Real talk. Khabib and Hamza in a cage right now. Who walks out? Oh no, Khabib's definitely not 155. No, Khabib's, but dude, Hamza would. All right. Jeez. Hamza would tower over Khabib. Oh my gosh. Sounds like blasphemy. But. Gosh, I think Hamza.
Amy, what's today's Vegas name?
Dude, that's crazy, man.
60.
Vegas 60.
I mean, it's not really a fair question, right? Because I think I know a lot of people used to say this about Conor, and it's so true. Conor was a lightweight who could make featherweight, right? Like, he's really a lightweight, but he could drain himself to 45, and he did it, right? But he only did it long enough to win the title, and then he's like, I'm never doing that again. And I feel like that's kind of where Hamzat is. Like, Hamzat is a middleweight who has been able to make 170 at times. Can he continue to make 170? I don't know. We're going to find out moving forward. Obviously not this past weekend. So if you put it in that perspective, you're basically talking about a middleweight versus a lightweight. So to say that you're picking a middleweight Hamzat over a lightweight Khabib, it just sounds bad. I mean, Khabib's 29-0, right? So to pick anybody against Khabib, like I said, it almost sounds like blasphemy. Like, why would you pick anybody? Like, I wouldn't pick, many people against John Jones or Demetrius Johnson or, a prime George St. Pierre, prime Anderson Silva, whatever. So it sounds weird to say I'm taking Hamzat over Khabib. But when you think about it like that Hamzat is essentially a middleweight and Khabib is a lightweight, then I guess that makes it a little bit easier in my mind to say that. But yeah, if they were in a cage, I think I'd take the younger, bigger guy. I think I'd take the younger, bigger guy. Oh, I see you, Scott. Yeah, hopefully she looks okay at weigh-ins. Aspen's had some tough weigh-ins. Aspen Ladd and her team have always been very, very nice to me. Very, very kind to me behind the scenes, and I always enjoy talking with her and her team. But that's just fair, right? Some of her weigh-ins have been very, very concerning. So I haven't seen her today. I only saw her briefly this week on media day because she was a prelim. Even though her and Sarah ranked that fight's in the prelims, we didn't see them at media day. So I didn't really get that kind of early week assessment. I saw her very, very briefly walking out of the PI after doing her video shoots and stuff like that. So I don't know how she's looking this week, to be honest with you. I just saw her very, very briefly walking out, and it was from a distance. But hopefully she's good, because obviously she has had some weight cuts that are very, very concerning. Elliot, I know a lot of people say that, right? That if Charles can beat Islam, that maybe Khabib would come back to kind of defend Islam's honor or whatever, to get one back for the team. But I think Khabib's done. I think he's incredibly comfortably done. And listen, from a business perspective, it's smart. And I know that's not necessarily what we want to talk about when we're talking about fights, is the business perspective. But think about it. When you're the undefeated, champ forever and ever and ever, that opens doors to you. You know what I mean? If you come back, does coming back to beat Charles at 30-0 really build your legacy that much more, that it's worth the risk of losing and being the 29-1 former champ? I don't think it does. So, and yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot, as kind of mentioned earlier, I don't think Khabib's making 155 anytime soon. So even if Charles beats Islam, I don't think that's going to entice Khabib to come back. Oh man, Chrissy J. Sorry for that, man. Dogs are the best, before we had our kid, our dogs were our kids. But even still, they're the best, right? I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry for your loss. Okay, all right, hold on. Looks like we're getting back to business. Let's see, 3 left. Let's see what we got.
Next to the scale, Aspen Ladd. Official weight 138 pounds for Aspen Ladd.
I mean, gosh. Obviously, we'll await official word on the matchup. I mean, the commission could allow her to continue to cut, but I don't know they will. I mean, she didn't look as if. I don't know what to say. It looked like she could potentially continue to cut if the doctors wanted to allow her to, but I don't know if they will. And yeah, we'll try to get official word ASAP. Maybe she just got to do featherweight. I mean, she's got skills, but again, and how much of her performances has been affected by tough weight cuts, you know? There's not much going on in the featherweight division, but at least there is a featherweight division. Maybe that's the future. We'll find out ASAP. Yeah, Michael Zegner, what you said, she looked more stable though. Like, you know, bummed that she missed weight, but I didn't sit there going, oh my gosh, like this. You know, there's been times where she's been up there where you're like actually scared for her. Was not scared for her this time, but that's still a very significant weight miss. Yeah, Mike, that's the problem. Yeah, as Zach just said, they don't even have rankings in the division. Like, they don't even have enough. So, like, I vote on the rankings panel, and, like, it's not even an option. Like, they don't even have it. So. Kenny, are they still waiting?
So the doctor, before she went up, said that was enough, so told the coach, so she's done.
Yeah. All right, so doctors told her she cannot continue to cut regardless. So 138 will be the final weight. Jeez. But I get it. Like I said, I mean, she looked okay. She didn't look scary. You know, like she has at times where you're just worried for her. But at the same time, with the history and who knows what they saw, you know, behind the scenes as well. Sounds like the doctor said done already, but now we'll find out what McMahon. You got to imagine, given the history, this would not be a 20% fine; it'd be a 30% fine. Obviously, Sarah still has to agree to it, though. We'll get official word on that ASAP as well. There's still 37 minutes left at this point. Alan Amidowski, Trey Ogden, all we're waiting on at this point. Is she in danger of being cut? I mean, like I said, I think that's why, I mean, maybe one way you prevent that is saying, hey, we'll do featherweight moving forward. let's look at the history. So I'm looking at her history. So, all right, so made weight last time out, right? Earlier this year. Fought featherweight before that. Made weight. Gosh, totally forgot her layoff was that long. Yeah, the knee injury. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Rich, I don't think it's laziness. Like, I mean, by all indications, she's a very hard worker. And, like, you see, like, I mean, if you follow her on social media, you'll see, like, she basically goes and, like, hikes 10 miles every day. Like, that's, I mean, I think she has an incredibly active lifestyle. Just maybe it's not good for the. That's crazy. I think you just got to go to 45. I think you just got to go to 45. Not a lot of fights there, but I mean the UFC obviously could have scrapped the division a long time ago, and they don't, and they're booking 45 fights. I mean, maybe you go try to be the face of that division. All right, looks like we're getting back to action here.
Hey, Trey's coming up.
2 left.
Trey. Trey.
Next to the scale, Trey Ogden.
What did he weigh the first time? Oh, the first time. What did he weigh the first time?
More than that.
More than that. So we weighed him at 156.
Official weight 156 pounds for Trey Ogden.
Short strike again.
Should be saying.
So half hour left. Still got one fighter left to weigh in, Alan Lewandowski. Everybody else has made weight except for Aspen Ladd at 138. Still waiting on official word as to what happens with that fight. My guess would be a 30% fine, given her history, but we'll wait to get that official word. That's just me guessing. Yeah, Zach, it's funny. Macy Chasson last week was kind of saying she'd like to go back and forth between the two divisions. Like, Macy Chasson, another one that I think the weight cuts are pretty tough for her to get to 35, obviously. I don't know. It just feel like the UFC, like, they have to make a decision. Like, they keep the 45 division around, but they don't really have a division. Like someone mentioned earlier, there's no rankings. There's no, like, why do you have a division if there's no rankings for it? You don't have enough people for, I don't know, you at least do a top 10. Maybe don't do a top 15. Maybe do a top 10. I don't know. And I don't know. Maybe it's just out of respect for Amanda Nunes. I don't know. I do feel like there's probably more, I know a lot of this isn't like a novel concept, but a lot of people say, they'd rather see the introduction of an atomweight division than a featherweight division. I do believe there are a lot of talented atomweight fighters, so I agree with that 100%. Like, to be honest with you, if they got rid of featherweights and brought in atomweights, I don't think that'd be a terrible thing. But you got to look overall, the marketing and all that stuff, whatever. There's more decisions to be made than just number of athletes and talent. But whether they want to do atomweights or not, if you're going to do featherweight, then do featherweight. If you're going to do it, do it. And it seems like we're just in this weird kind of halfway space with the featherweight division. Like, yeah, there's a division, yeah, there's a champion, but, so you do fights there. What do they mean? Nora Dumont picks up a win. What does it mean? She's like, I'll fight anybody. Who's there? Who's there? So that makes it kind of challenging. Yeah, Zach. Now, I didn't realize people hate on atomweight so much on Twitter, but I get it. Like, I'm sure that would end up being the thing. Like, 105 pounds. Who's that? Saw it forever with the flyweights. There's still people that hate on the flyweights, right? Which is dumb. I think flyweights, bantamweights, two of the best divisions in the sport. Like, but I can see people doing the same thing. Yeah, 100%, Ron. You definitely get a title fight after winning one fight at 45. You definitely can. Well, because there's no, what are there, like 4 featherweights? It's weird. Yeah, exactly, Elliot. Like, she still gets that champ stat. Like, I honestly believe that probably has something to do with it. Probably has something to do with their logic. She can be a champ. Nah. Delboni's good, yep. One fighter left to weigh in. Of course, then we'll do the face-offs as well. After that, should follow immediately after. We don't have a big gap, so it doesn't look like we will. It's a good point, Elliot. Bellator did a good job of building their featherweight division. They really did. As you said, Zingano, McCord, Kavanaugh, Blake Kyle. It might make sense for her to go over there. I mean, the bad thing is, if you go there right now, you don't have a lot of leverage, right? Because basically Bellator knows, like, you're going because things weren't working out. I don't want to say things aren't working out. Like, she's still ranked. Like, I'm not trying to write off her career right now, but if I'm thinking from a marketing, leverage, negotiating perspective, it would kind of look like you were going there because you needed to go there. So I think that would cause issues for you in terms of leverage. But it is a much more competitive featherweight division, and at least it's laid out, right? At least it's actually laid out. Yeah, exactly. Desperation. Okay, what? Oh, commission walked out. They walked back. Maybe we're ready. Maybe we'll get our last one. Mark Fellows, what's going on? Better late than never. We're always happy to have you. No, I think when the UFC was talking to Kayla, I think they were talking to her about potentially going to featherweight, which I think was some of her initial hesitation. Yeah, Mark, I feel you. I'm ready for these things. Once these things get done, I'm going home and taking a nap. I'm hurting. I'm proud of myself for making it this far. I'm hurting after last night. Yeah, Jonathan Ladd came in and weighed 138, and we were told that the commission told her that would be it. No more cutting after that, so she has officially missed weight. We're just waiting on official word in terms of, will Sarah take the fight, what the fine will be. My anticipation would be 30%, but we're waiting to hear that. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you. Mark Nine Inch Nails was fun. It was good, but it's kind of hard to go to a Nine Inch Nails concert and then just come home and go to bed, you know what I mean? So we had to, concert was good. Went out and had a few cocktails afterwards, came home. Took a brief little tiny nap and then came here. Which fight in the prelims are you most excited about? To me, that's easy. Damon Jackson, Pat Sabatini. That's the fight I'm most excited about. I mean, there's some good ones on there, but that's the one I'm most excited about. I like the stylistic clash. I like both those dudes. I like seeing Nicholas Mota back. I like seeing him. Former CFFC champ, so I always like to see him in action. Basharat Gravely should be a good fight. I always like watching Loma Lagumi fight. Like that pure Thai striking. I love that. Jillian Robertson, Maria Agapova. That should be a fun women's fight. So I dig that. So, I mean, there's something I'm excited about. Now, interesting storyline, Ladd missing weight. So funny because we were talking earlier in the league. Like, why are two ranked fighters on the prelims so she misses weight? But, yeah, Jackson Sabatini, that's the one for me. All right, looks like we might be primed for our final weigh-in.
Next to the scale, Alan Amadovsky.
.86.5 is what the read was.
Yeah, he's close.
Official weight 186.5 for Alan Amadovsky.
I think he's gonna reweigh though.
Just what is my room? He takes off his underwear. That's fine. Even if he takes off his underwear, the same underwear. And he's not.
Two.
Yeah, I just saw Jake.
We had two. That's good. Was he down here?
He just did one.
So bad you can't cut anymore, so I think I'll just see if he's okay.
What he's got, what he's half pound over?
So yeah, 2 misses today. Again, we were told earlier that Ladd will not be allowed to continue her weight cut. We'll find out what they say with Amadovsky. The doctors will try to clear him. And then we'll go from there. I guess I'll go ahead and get my lens changed out here. Go to the wider lens for the face-off. So give me a minute. We'll lose picture here for just a second while I switch this out, but everything will stay connected. What's up? Yeah, we got it clear from the doctors first, but. That's it. But they gotta see if Amadovsky can get cleared. Gotcha. She was, I mean, she's looked worse. Like, she didn't look bad, but it's still 38. You know, it's like, oh, she doesn't look terrible, but she's still 38. You know? I got home like, I got home at 2, so it wasn't that bad. I mean, 2, and then I think yeah, 2, and then like, even then, like, I was still a little bit like, but I got home at like 2, and I went to bed like 3, and then you got at 7. So I'm on like 4 hours. I went pretty good. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I've seen it before, but it was good. Like I said, like, that feeling I had or whatever. I don't know. Is that what she's doing? She's good because the Caesars thing's done or whatever. Yeah, I think he did like maybe a press conference or something there one time. I've never seen a show there. My wife saw like Brittany there, and she saw like the Backstreet Boys there or something. But this first time I was in the show there, it was good. So we were like, yeah, my wife said she barely. She's like, it was fun, but it was good. She was supposed to. I don't know if she did it, but
She had a few shows. She had a few shows though.
Should be right at 11. I should probably take those on-screen graphics off the camera. Huh?
I'm good, man. How are you? That's been that list again.
Call them a success. I feel like it wouldn't. I mean, the fiction.
No, but I mean, they've cancelled one with Macy, so that was the 3. She actually missed away that time, and then I think that people remember the shaking. That was outside the UFC. That was ages ago.
Yeah, I think that'd be and then like cases and everything.
Oh yeah, you got she's always. Yeah, she's always fucking around. She's always like.
All right.
You could put together a video of her weigh-ins. It might get like 5 minutes.
No, we're good. So waiting here on Amadowski. Hopefully we get the face-offs. Just catching up there with hot tea for a moment. Yeah, Michael. Nice Nails is fun, man. They're good. I think I've seen him. Jeez, I don't even know how many times because this goes way back in the day, like when I was still living in Dallas. So you're talking about like 20-something years ago. I've probably seen him. 9 or 10 times, I guess. Always a good show. Always a good show. Yeah, Mark Fellows Pfeiffer at the media day was fired up, man. He was good. B. Joe Pfeiffer. I'm telling you. Oh, look at it. Mike calling out the bandmates. I like it. Oh. Damn, Mark Fellows, I missed it. I'll tell him. I'll just yell at him. Right? Too big for the road show these days. I'll tell him. Hold on. Anarud, what's going on? Internship news. You know what's funny is I might have to put you in touch with my man Cody Mara. We've actually been talking about that, trying to get this internship thing working. So, Anarud, there might be a possibility for you.
They're going to pace him off, though, so we can get everybody else out of here, and he's going to continue to cut.
All right, so there you go. They're pulling the scale.
You know I'm moving this over. In case you didn't think I did.
What's Cold Coffee doing? Cold Coffee's just jumping straight up in the shot. But they're going to pull the scale, do the face-offs, get everybody else out of here, and then it looks like Amadowski will still be able to make weight or cut weight. That's Cold Coffee's camera there on the side of your picture. No respect for our shot whatsoever. 4 Nickelback songs. I bet I do. I wouldn't consider myself a Nickelback fan by any stretch, but they were around for a long time. I had a bunch of big hits, right? So I guarantee you I probably do. Now I gotta see. Nickelback discography. What was that? Hey, I want to be a rock star. That was Nickelback, right? Hold on. All right, I'm looking on Wikipedia. Their singles. Wait, these are the biggest ones? How does this go? All right. The Devil Went Down to Georgia? What? They did The Devil Went Down to Georgia? Wow, I definitely don't know these by their. Hold on, man. Maybe I don't. I don't know these by their titles. I'm sure if I heard them. Song on Fire, Feed the Machine. Which ones? All right, let's see the ones that charted in the U.S. Leader of Men. Gosh, I don't remember that enough. I don't remember that. That was number 8 in the U.S. Breathe. Oh, How You Remind Me, of course. Definitely know that one. Never Again, Too Bad. I don't remember these. Figured You Out. That was number 1. Photograph. Of course I remember Photograph. Animals was number 1. I kind of remember that one, I think. Yeah, there you go. Rockstar. That was number 4. Something in Your Mouth? What was that? That was number 1? Edge of a Revolution was number 1? I don't remember that. Man. All right, well, this has been a fun trip down Nickelback Road.
Man, those kids against Pfeiffer, right?
Yeah, Anarud, I'm a little bit hungover at my voice is shot from the Nine Inch Nails concert last night, so we're a little deeper than normal this morning. I guess I'm going to go get in position for the photos of the face-offs. You can watch the face-offs right here. And if you want to see a miniature version of the face-offs, you can watch it in Cold Coffee's monitor down there. That's how fancy he is.
You could tell I was the oldest brother.
Watch this. I'm just gonna. Look at Cold Coffee's camera setup, dog. He got a monitor on top of his viewfinder, on top of that big camera gear. I mean, what's going on there? Who needs a monitor that big when you got a viewfinder that big? Who needs that? Nobody needs that. Cold Coffee just got gear he doesn't even need. There you go. a little insight into the cold coffee setup.
Hey, hi. Is he over?
Half a pound. So it shouldn't take him long to make it. So after he faces off, he's gonna finish cutting.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, and he's gonna face off first, and then he'll cut. Hopefully, it doesn't take
Well,
long.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
They just prefer to make it.
All right, go make coffee. All right, let me. Hey, Heidi Dean, how are you? All right, I'm gonna go get in position to shoot these photos for the face-offs. Hopefully, you enjoy the live stream of face-offs here. Obviously, we'll have full coverage. Oh, I see on the screen above, Michael Chiesa is in the octagon. I guess he's gonna do a little walk and talk interview for the pre-show. Teasing that. Breaking news. All right. I'm going to get in position. Enjoy the face-offs. Full coverage tomorrow. We'll be here at the Apex. Hopefully a nap is in my future today. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. All right. I'm going to go walk over there.
Hi. Hey, if your mom and dad wanted to make like strawberry jalapeno jam again, I wouldn't say no.
I'll let her know. I'll let her know.
One is 3 channels.
4.
That's the 80, right? They're out 60 now. Some weird troll. Everyone, anytime there's something different.
It's nice because like I have like the room audio, the line audio, my mic.
And you're recording on SD or you send it right to
I am sitting on so like an hour, so I'm sitting straight from the computer, but I can record SD as well.
Yeah, so you do backup.
Excuse me, sir. Hey, Heidi. We're gonna have bread sandwich between us two.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're just gonna do this one, and then we'll do the whole card later. Oh, so Deshaun gets here.
Gonna do Ahmed
So it sounds like they're going to do the Ahmedoski face-off now, but I guess Sean Shelby's not here to do the full face-off, so we're just going to do one face-off to start, and then we'll do the other one. So kind of interesting.
My dreams are coming true.
All right. No,
Brendan's going to stand in the middle.
Well, don't I have to announce it?
No, you're the best.
So who's going to announce it?
Heidi?
I can't say the name.
Alan Amadovsky, Joe Piper.
I got a list.
You want to announce them? Sure. How do you say it? Joe Piper?
Joe Piper.
Piper?
B. Joe Piper.
Alan. How do you say that? And Alan. Alan. It's Alan.
Alan and Joe.
Ambidextrous?
Amadovsky. Close. It's just like how it says. Oh.
Okay, I should have asked before I just started grabbing stuff.
Alan Amadovsky.
Piper.
Joe Piper, Alan
Who's first?
Amadovsky. So you say Alan.
Amadovsky. I used to do this before you guys showed up.
Can I have my Friday mornings back?
Can you take that off?
The entire live stream is worth it for these last 60 seconds.
Yeah. As soon as this turns off. Brendan. Okay, yep, rock and roll.
Don't be scared. We're here for you.
Starting face-offs with the middleweight bout, Alan Amadovsky versus Joe Piper.
Man, somebody should have shoved somebody right there before they not say, "Come on, bro, opportunity lost."
All right, the bucket list is one shorter. Next stop, ceremonial weigh-in.
Oh man, that was funny. If only we'd have had some veterans of the organization that knew what a weird thing was going on. They would have shoved each other and just like remember when Anthony Johnson and John Jones like faked out Dana, like they faked the fight. I think that was in LA at a press conference. We should have had like a little fake fight right there. That'd been funny. Exactly. Mark Fellows, Dave Schaller, potential moment missed. That would have been funny. All right, now I'm going back in position to go shoot photos again, but I just had to come over here and laugh at that because it made me giggle. All right, I guess we're chilling for a little bit. Thought we were ready to go, but I think we're waiting on Mr. Sean Shelby to get here to oversee the face-offs. Ishmael, how you doing, sir? got any updates on the weigh-ins here. Sounds like, so they got the face-off done with Amadowski there just so he can continue cutting weight. So he's going to continue to try to make it. We know that the Aspen Lab was not allowed to continue cutting weight. Would assume that fight would happen with a fine of 30%, but we're still waiting to hear that officially.
Hey. Black t-shirt, right? This is the Dana look. Just like that. Yeah, that's true. Now that's how you talk. Other than a day after a handshake over there. All summer.
Fighters are lined up, so it looks like we should be starting any minute. So I'm gonna go move over there again. Looks like face-offs. Sans, the one we already had, will be coming momentarily.
All right, stare down time, everybody, for this fight card tomorrow, wall-to-wall on ESPN+. It begins at 1 o'clock local time, 4 Eastern in the lightweight division. Cameron Van Camp takes on Nicholas Mota. Up next, we're in the bantamweight division. Javid Basharat takes on Tony Gravely. In the women's flyweight division, Jillian Robertson takes on Maria Agapova. Up next, we are in the lightweight division. Daniel Zellhuber squares off against Trey Ogden. Next is a women's strawweight bout. Loma Lukbunmi takes on Denise Gomes. Up next at welterweight, Louis Cosi takes on Trevin Giles. Featured prelim is in the featherweight division. Pat Sabatini takes on Damon Jackson. Main card is on ESPN Plus, kicks off at 7 Eastern, 4 local time. It starts in the middleweight division. Marc-Andre Barrio takes on Anthony Hernandez. Up next, we are in the heavyweight division. Rodrigo Nascimento takes on Tanner Boser. Up next, we're in the featherweight division. Bill Algeo squares off against Andre Fili. Next up, we're in the middleweight division. Gregory Rodriguez takes on Chidi Njokuani. In our main event, 5 rounds possible between 10th ranked bantamweight Song Yadong and the 4th ranked contender Cory Sandhagen. Cory Sandhagen and Song Yadong in tomorrow's main event. We'll see on ESPN Plus.
All right. Your event is official. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed chatting with you. Now I'm ready to go home and take a nap. Long night last night, but enjoyed kicking it with you guys this morning. We'll be at the Apex tomorrow. Tune in. Enjoy your afternoon and your weekend. Nap time at the Morgan House. Then kids soccer game tonight. UFC Apex tomorrow. See you then, guys. Cheers, Mark fellas.